Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to another video of my channel. I am Kishalay. Hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to another podcast session of my channel. And in this video, we'll talk in detail about life at IIT Bombay during M.Tech curriculum. So last week, there's a video about life at ISC Bangalore during M.Tech curriculum. If you haven't watched that video, the link will be in the description. You can go and check it out. Now in this podcast, I've invited four of my friends from IIT Bombay. They are Himanshu, Swapnil, Prerana and Akanksha. So Himanshu and Swapnil are pursuing M.Tech in TA at CSE department in IIT Bombay. Prerana is pursuing MSRA in CSE department and Akanksha is pursuing M.Tech RA in CSE department at IIT Bombay. So in this video, again, the format is same. These people, they have shared their whole experience of pursuing a full year at IIT Bombay because they are first year students. They have just completed their first year and moving to second year. So they have talked in detail about how they have deal with the academic pressure, what are the different courses that they have chosen, how they have decided that which subject they have to choose, what are the compulsory courses, what are the elective courses. Then they have talked about their guide selection process, and finally they talk about overall life at IIT Bombay. I mean, what are the extracurricular activities that they do apart from the academics? What are the different cultural program that is happening? How is the fest culture? So everything will be there in detail, like the previous video. So if you want to know detail about it, please stay tuned in this video till end because I personally feel that the students will be joining IIT Bombay this time. This video will be really helpful for them. Whatever story that these four people have shared, and if someone who is aspiring to go to IIT Bombay for their M.Tech and probably they are preparing for GATE, for them also this video will be really helpful. So that's why stay tuned to this video till end. And before starting the video, as I always say, if you have liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you're new to this particular channel, please subscribe my channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon for instant notification. Without further delay, let's start in the podcast. Thank you everyone for joining. And first, if you just introduce yourself to the audience.
So, hi, I'm Prerna. I've just completed my MS first year in computer science. I've done my UG from BTU, Bengaluru.
So, hi everyone. My name is Akanksha Daduj, and I am a M.Tech RA student here at IIT Bombay, and I am from Jaipur, Rajasthan. I did my B.Tech from Birla Institute of Technology, Nesta. I did a job for a year in Amazon as a cloud engineer.
Hello everyone, myself Swapnil Bhattacharya, and I have just completed my first 2 semesters as an M.Tech teaching assistant student at the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. And presently, I am associated with the C Field Lab, that is Computation for Indian Language Technologies, under the guidance of Professor Pushpa Bhattacharya.
Hi everyone, thank you really for having us. I'm Himanshu Datta, and I've also completed 2 semesters in M.Tech CSE TA program at IIT Bombay, and also working at the Seafield Lab.
What was your motivation for joining IIT Bombay?
So it was more of it will be more of a twofold answer because objectivity goes away when you have a institute already in your mind before even starting the process of getting to the stage where you get to choose an institute, and it acted as a motivation. So during my first attempt of GATE, I did not score well enough to get into IIT Bombay IC, but because during the second time I was well enough to have all the choices, that became the motivation that if I'm going for GATE for the second time, I should have all the choices and then I should be able to choose. And hence IIT Bombay was the obvious choice because it was a more subjective, it was a more personal choice. But other than that, I did give fair consideration, and this would be, I think, more helpful for students who are going to choose between the top few institutes like IIT Madras, IISc, IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Bombay for CSE at least. So my choice was between IISc and IIT Bombay, and the differences that I could see between the two was that IIT Bombay has more of a engineering plus research perspective, as opposed to IISc, which has a more research inclination. And then the second point of difference was that how do you want to spend your next 2 years? So, for example, IIT if you go to IIT Madras, you'll be getting an internship in the first 2 months, and you'll be more focused toward uh, a job or a career in research, as opposed to IIT Bombay or IISc, where you'll be focusing more on research and uh, publishing research papers, that will become very prime motivation for your master's thesis, something like that. So yeah, these were the few the objective points that I considered, and IIT Bombay still was in the top one or two of that selection.
So for me, like every engineering student who want to pursue engineering, for them the very first goal is to get into IIT. So unfortunately, at the time of JEE, I wasn't able to make it. So after that, GATE was the only opportunity for me to get into IITs. So yeah, that was the motivation. But after GATE, my rank was not good enough to secure M.Tech, so I joined MS.
So yeah, it's same for me as well, just like Prerna. Like even from 10th, we are like my dream was to get into some IIT college. But yeah, like during that time I couldn't get into it. So that's why I prepared for GATE and finally I joined.
So it's probably one of the toughest answers for me, specifically because I had joined IIT Bangalore in 2022 after completing my graduation, and then I dropped out from IIT after around 2 months, and then again went into IIT Bombay in 2023. So, what the difference which I find between IIT Bombay and IIT Bangalore is that although both the curriculum are quite grueling and quite strict in both their aspects, but in IIT Bombay, it's quite systematic, and so it's a bit easier, I feel, and which is much more suited to my character. And at the same time, I'm not saying that ISC is a very bad institute only because I dropped out of it. Probably it was not well suited for me. And at the same time, I was not fully mentally prepared and mature enough to survive in institutes like this. Besides having excellent academic prowess, you also need to have a great level of self-confidence and
Right.
self-motivation. That is very much essential. And so I chose IIT Bombay over ISC, and it was entirely my personal choice this time. Because while choosing ISC, it was somewhat motivated. I was somewhat motivated by my professors also, because everyone was telling ISC is the abode of this and that. But here, coming to IIT Bombay, I do feel that we are doing world level research here as well. And so IIT Bombay has a QS world ranking of 118 in the present rank.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to add to that because it would be more of an unfiltered thought because a lot of students have that perspective, toppers especially, but when choosing between IISc and IIT Bombay, there's this discussion that happens in the circle that IISc does not have B.Tech folks there, so the competition for jobs, competition for different things would be less, and uh, M.Techs or postgraduate students are treated as first class citizens. Fair enough, but as Swapnil said, that has both the side pros and cons. And Swapnil just said that
Right.
because he came to IIT, he found that things are very systematic in a way, and that I think has stemmed from the fact that the courses are offered together to B.Tech, M.Tech, PhD, anybody at all. So that helps a little because then the courses become a little systematic, and then uh, you are hand-holded a little bit here, as opposed to I think an institution like IIT, which is purely research, where there's no hand-holding at all, and then you're just dropped into a sea, and now you have to navigate on your own.
Yeah, I completely agree with this part that all the IITs, not only IIT Bombay, in IIT Kharagpur also have seen because the curriculums are more focused for BTech students. They are more systematic than IISc Bangalore. Even what I've seen in IISc Bangalore, sometimes the professor don't take a course for a semester. It's their choice. They decide that I will not take a course this time. Next time I'll offer it. So that kind of things is going on. But here, you have to take a course because the courses are kind of circulated among the professor focusing on the BTech student. So, and BTech student, I hope you all know the capacity so much because all the different streams BTech student, they keep on taking computer science courses. So that's why the courses are much more systematic in IITs than IISc Bangalore. So my next question will be that when you guys joined IIT Bombay in the first semester, so what are the subjects you have chosen? what was the requirement, and how did you decide to choose?
Okay, so during my GATE preparation itself, I got interest in subjects related to systems. So that impacted my choice while selecting the subjects. So the subjects I opted for, and ultimately, I like for me for MSREP, your domain is decided during your interview itself. So my domain was related to systems. So the wiser choice was to opt for subjects which are related to system to have a good basics in them. So the subjects, and also I consulted my guide while registration, and I opted for subjects like computer architecture, basics of like DCS. Yeah, software lab was compulsory for us. Along with that, for MS students, R&D, I mean research and development subject is
Okay,
compulsory.
so two compulsory subjects and two elective subjects you have to choose.
Yep.
Yeah, so since my program was 3 years, so I thought like I can explore more of the subject. So that's why I decided to take both the domain, that is system and the machine learning. So I took one of the system subject, which is DECS, design computing systems. And second I took was foundations of machine learning, FML. And third was process engineering. It was kind of a normal mixed subject, just general thing. And the compulsory subjects were same, like the software lab.
So for you also, there are two compulsory subjects and two electives.
Yeah, it's the same curriculum. It depends on us, like how many subjects we take in a semester. Like it depends on us. The total course, which is I think 9, and adding the compulsory subjects, it's like 11 total. So we can take it accordingly. Like we can take one subject in one semester, or it depends on us basically. So I took 3 subjects
Okay.
in first.
So, as Akanksha said, we have to take 9 elective subjects, out of which 8 will be departmental electives, 1 will be institute elective, and compulsory subjects are software lab and seminars. So I took software lab in my first semester. Along with that, I had registered for 4 subjects: algorithm and complexity, then speech, NLP and the web, CS 626, foundations of machine learning, CS 725, and game theory and algorithmic mechanism design, CS 6001, although I dropped it before mid-sem.
And how did you decide this subject?
So one doubt which I was having, actually there is a subject called design and engineering of computer systems, which I think everyone sitting in this interview has taken other than me. So all my seniors also instructed me to take that subject, but it was actually clashing with NLP. But
Okay.
this time I decided that I will take the subject based on my judgment only. So I think we should take the subject based on
Okay.
our own inclination.
Talking
Yeah.
about the structure of MS curriculum, so there are total, I mean, there are 3 compulsory subjects: software lab, which you have to take in first semester, uh, R&D 1, which you are supposed to take in first semester itself. Actually, 4 compulsory, seminar and R&D 2 in second semester. And after those compulsory subjects, there are 5 electives which you are departmental electives which you are supposed to take throughout your MS course. I mean, it's a variable program, 2.5 to 3. In that whole journey, you are supposed to complete all the 5 courses.
Yeah, I took 4 elective courses other than the mandatory courses that everybody mentioned. So the idea in the first semester was to basically explore all the different domains. Although I was 100% sure that I'm going to go towards machine learning and very specifically natural language processing (NLP). But still, I wanted to explore all the different domains through the different graduate level courses, because then I won't get to take different kind of courses from semester 2 onward, and the courses would be very focused towards the specific kind of work that I'm doing. So I took algorithms, then FML, Foundation of Machine Learning. Everybody has taken that. Then a course related to network security, and design. Finally, the DECS course, which is Design and Engineering of Computer Systems.
So my next question will be that how was your overall experience in the first semester? Because people often talk about this hectic, course pressure in these different IITs and IIT Bangalore during MTech. So how was your journey specifically in the first semester? How did you feel the pressure?
So for me, it was the kind like it was just it was hectic, you can say. Like initially, the thing was like if one assignment went, the other came. So it was like you were busy the complete week. But yeah, like you, like what I learned was you have to make your time like for other things as well. Like you should go for some sports, like for badminton. Like I personally went for badminton. So, you have to make your time for the mind to refresh. I even participated in some extracurricular activities like some yoga and things. Thing was like it was kind of new things. So the subjects were like uh, those were very good, but it was kind of hectic, you can say.
So it was same with me as Akanksha. I mean, being from a tier three university, the pattern over there is very dry. I mean, the study pattern and all. And here in ITB, it was quite dynamic about the courses. And so, yeah, time management was also a thing which I struggled upon. Also, as I mentioned in my first semester, R&D one was compulsory. So this was the very first time I was trying my hands into research. So yeah, it was a bit of pressure for me. But overall, at the end of the first semester, I was able to manage it.
First semester would seem easy, but only at the end of second semester. Not then. Yeah. So there's this problem that people will try to play it safe a little bit when they come here, which I also try to did with one of the subjects. So 3 out of 4 subjects I took were to explore, but one of those subjects, the fourth one, network security, was my safe subject. That because network security is not too far off from computer networks and it's not too complicated. You have to just learn things and just give the exam. I thought it would be an easier subject, but then it turns out that I got a I got a lesser pointer in that than compared to all my non safe subjects or the subjects that I wanted to take. So that is never going to have no fixed structure is there. So take the courses whatever you want and explore as much as possible. Or if you're already very sure that this is the domain that I want to work in, go with that. And the first semester, as everybody has said, that time management becomes a very important skill. Other than that, knowing how to and when to relax also is very important. Try to
Right.
find easiness in life through different modalities. Even when we were once, I remember we were talking about something absolutely absurd, making plans for a trip to Bangkok or someplace like that, and then also there was some mathematics involved. How we will convince our friends who are not very spending to go to Bangkok with probability and expectation and mean and everything. So, yeah, it's always fun to have this conversation.
So initially it was that kind of intimidating only. I felt that the curriculum was tough, but at the same time, as I said, that the pressure was systematic. So it was much easier for me to grasp things here in IIT Bombay. So one problem which I faced initially was in the compulsory subject of software lab, and that was especially because of my negligence. So I gave sufficient amount of time to the electives, but I continued to neglect it, and at the same time, the subject itself continued to neglect me. So in software lab, I think I think 70% of the class got BB, that means 8 or above. I got a 7 pointer in that. Other than that, rest
Okay.
subjects were good. Especially FML was especially intimidating. Foundations of Machine Learning.
So my next question will be, I hope all of your guide has been allocated or lab is allocated. So I just want to know what is the process of allocation of these labs and selection of guides for all of you.
The process for M.Tech TA student, because the curriculums are different, the processes are also different. For M.Tech TA
Okay.
students, almost at the end of first semester, everybody starts approaching the professor that they want to work under, and it's mostly a back and forth between the professor and you. So it depends on the professor. So for us, Swapnil and I, for Professor Pushpa Bhattacharya, he took an interview of us before
Okay.
accepting our this candidature. Other than that, he also asked for a summary of some research paper that we have read, just to gauge how our writing skills is, something like that. So that is his process, but it differs from professor to professor. Some professor would take an interview, some would just ask for your resume, previous work experience in that domain, or just have a conversation and try to gauge your interest. something like that. But for MTech TAs, generally there is a process, and then once this is allocated, then there's an official process as well. This allocation is unofficial, but once you have talked to your professor, then the official process is that a form will be floated, and you have to fill the preferences from the project list that is released, and fill the preferences as in the project that you want to work in, and the professor that you work with. All those things are filled, and then yeah, the final selection happens. And from second semester onward, we have this fixed component of MTech TA has this fixed component of seminar in the second semester, and for that
Okay.
we have to start working with a guide.
So for MTech RA, basically currently we don't have a guide. Like it's
Okay.
same just like them, but we will be allotted a guide in fourth semester. And considering the lab
Okay.
thing, we are given a SysAd room. Basically, there is a system admin room. So this is decided basically from the interview which you are giving. Like I have given research assistantship under system admin during the time of the selection. Actually, I selected that I wanted to be RA under system admin. So
Okay.
after the interview and things, we are allotted this lab. So for the seminar and things, actually, you can even do it in third semester as well, but
Okay.
mostly people do it in fourth sem.
You will be allotted a guide from system only, right? Because you are allotted to system domain.
No, 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 no. It's completely our choice, basically. It's the same program as the TA program, just like one extra
Okay.
year is given for the system admin work, but similar to them, like it's on our
Okay.
choice what guide we have to select. Maybe it's ML. Like
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
my previous senior batch, there were four students. So half of them was in system domain and half of them was in ML domain. So it's not compulsory. It
Okay.
depends.
Okay.
So, similar to MTech, for MS also there are two ways in which you get into, the institute. One is TA and the other one is RAP. So for the TA, the process is quite similar as MTech. I mean, you select your guide, you explore different domains, and whichever domain interests you, you apply in the DAT. But for
Okay.
MS RAP, the the process is quite straightforward. The guide is decided initially during your interview itself. I mean, whichever domain you choose for your interview during your admission, in that domain itself, your thesis will be, and your guide will be that person itself.
Okay, now coming to the second semester, the one the first semester is done, how was the difference between first semester and second semester? Because you all are saying that you have already, accustomed in the system for, for first 6 months. So how difficult it was to choose subject in the second semester, or you already know about it? So how was the experience?
Second semester, generally people take lesser number of subjects because the credits are fulfilled. Yeah. So, for example, yeah, for MTech TA, we have to take 8 department electives and 1 institute elective. So, because my 4 department electives were over in the first semester itself, I had to take 3 subjects to complete the credit here on this side. 4 plus 3 would be 7. So, 7 of the credits would be completed in the first year itself. So I took 2 subjects. Both of the subjects were kind of decided with a back and forth with the professor themselves. So I took deep learning for NLP and automatic speech recognition because I work under
Hmm.
2 professors. Professor Pushpak Bhattacharya and Professor Preeti Jyoti. Both are my co-guides.
Okay.
So both the subjects were being offered by them, and yeah, I was also interested in those subjects because I did not take NLP in the first semester. I wanted to take BLNLP offered by
Hmm.
Professor Bhattacharya. So I took those 2 subjects. Other than that, I took seminar, which is compulsory, and then R&D as the third subject to complete my 7 this department elective credits. So yeah, that was my thought process behind selecting the subjects that I did.
So in the second semester, I actually took many subjects. But in IIT Bombay, actually, there is a process of tagging subjects as ALC, additional learning course. So additional learning course means that you have to do everything in that course, just like a credit, but that pointer of that course is not added in your CPI. So I
Okay.
took three courses, 3 elective courses, and the seminar. So the electives include DLNLP, Deep Learning for Natural Language Processing, R&D course, CS691, and an institute elective. This was offered by the humanities department. The name of the course is Ecology and Society. And two ALC courses at Advanced Machine Learning and Automatic Speech Recognition. And along with that, I also had seminar and Compulsory Communication Skills, which is a non-credit course.
So you can take humanities courses also as a elective course.
No, for the institute elective only. We have to take one institute elective. And for that, we have to take any course other than our domain.
Okay.
So that is not from CS, electrical, maths, anything like that.
So while choosing subjects for my second semester, I consulted it with my guide. So the subjects which will be helpful for my ultimate thesis. I opted for them. So the subjects were embedded systems. Then R&D was compulsory. R&D 2 and seminar, those were compulsory. Other than that, I opted for virtualization and cloud computing and embedded.
So for me, as I said that I had 3 years, so I wanted to explore some good subjects. So same to that, similar to Prerna, I took one VCC, virtual cloud computing. That was a system subject, and second I took was NLP. And the third subject was data security.
So now the next question I want to ask you is about the curriculum, that what are expected from the students will be joining into these different curriculums, and how much important is mathematics and coding part?
The expectation from at least for machine learning or any AI ML domain would not be very high in terms of the mathematical background. So anybody who is coming from GATE, they are already familiar with linear algebra and probability, calculus, all these things. So the base is already there. It's more of a process of how fast can you adapt to the level of mathematics or the way the mathematics is being used in these subjects. So most of the formulations are going to be, for example, conditional probability. Everybody has seen conditional probability. Just that when you're using it for, let's say, encoder, decoder, something like that, you can understand. If you can understand that it is conditional probability, then that formulation becomes clear. Just that how it is being applied or how it is being used, something like that. So it's more of an adaptive process. Most of us who are coming after gate are going to be familiar with some level of coding, even if you are from electrical or some other department. I think some level of you must have been exposed to some level of coding in the first year of BTech college. So if you have that base already, then again it's a process of how fast or slow can you adapt here. So in different courses you'll have to work on different projects, and if you're going to work on different projects you need to be uh, at least familiar with how to write good code and good amount of code. Other than that, what code you are going to write, that is, I don't think most of us were prepared for that. So in BECS, we had to write system level code very from ground up. We did not have anything to start with, and then we had to build a complete server and client architecture and perform the quality testing on those things and a lot of things. So socket programming and then multi-threading, all these things. So we were not very familiar with the concept, but because we already knew C++ programming, it was just that we had to learn the concepts and apply them. So I think that would be the level of mathematics, level of coding, or maybe if you're going to take theory subjects, then in GATE we already again prepare with theorems and all those things in discrete math algorithms. So again, that level of familiarity is good enough. Just that one has to be attentive and one has to be sharp to adapt to the pace at which they are being used and they're being utilized.
What I personally felt that specifically as I took NLP in the first sem itself, so for machine learning, probability is the most important foundation on which the student should focus as for the theoretical perspective. And for the practical one, I think some level of expertise in with Python would be helpful. But even if it is not there, then also it's not a problem because programming level expertise can be easily obtained. But the theoretical foundations of probability is required.
So for M.Tech RA, basically during admission only, there are two rounds. Like one is the coding round, and second is the interview. So for coding round, you require around medium level, medium level coding things. So for that, I would suggest that some medium level or easy to medium level lead code questions would be there. And also plus for like for my domain, like for system admin, people should know Linux as well. Like in interviews they ask Linux and even coding questions. Like for me, they ask around like most of the interview was circulated in Linux and coding questions only. So some knowledge would be good.
Yeah, so for MS, if you are doing your MS in ML domain, obviously probability, linear algebra, and all those stuffs are must. So, which we get to know in our gate preparation itself. So, and in systems also, basic understanding of coding. And so, yeah, you should be aware with coding stuffs and all. Uh, Basic mathematics would be okay. So, yeah, that would suffice.
Now, what are the extra additional responsibilities you have as a TA and RE?
That depends heavily on your luck for TA at least, because what course you're going to be assigned differs from person to person. So if you're assigned a course in which the professor has less demand, maybe just come to the lectures or just maybe grade the submissions that are happening. Also, some courses have very less students, 20 to 30 students, whereas if you're assigned a complete B.Tech course where the entire batch has to take, so for example, operating system or software lab or network, computer networks, all these courses where the entire batch is going to take. And plus, if you have lab in that course, so it's just very hurtful now for me because for 2 semesters I've
Oh,
been
one
assigned.
one course can have both theory and lab.
Yeah, so operating
Oh,
system had both theory and lab, and software lab also had kind of theory part and lab part as well.
you have to be TA for both the things, theory and lab.
Yes, so because both
Oh,
the courses are not disaligned from each other or disassociated from each other, the same professor is going to take the both the courses, and your TA work has something like CS 204/28, for example, something like that. So yeah, and in the credit also it comes like that. So it's not two different courses, and yeah, work is distributed among people, but for some
right.
courses it's going to be a little more hectic as opposed to other courses, depending on the number of students that are there or the schedule of the course. So, for example, if 3 hour lab is there, you have to attend the 3 hour lab every week. Yeah. So for first semester, the process was that our preference was taken, and in that first semester, the M.Tech TA students are assigned only the courses which are offered to B.Tech students. From second semester onward, the courses are allocated randomly, almost randomly. At least we do not get to intervene in that. And the courses can be B.Tech courses, B.Tech plus M.Tech, or open to all courses. Any course can be there.
Like for MTech RA, it's different. Like in first semester, you will be given responsibility of the labs basically. So we conduct labs. Like there is CS 101 for first year students. So like we have to take responsibility of the lab things. Like some software needs to be installed or something like that, something is missing. So during those time we have to be there during the complete lab time. And even for the exams, like we have in a week there are 4 days where exam is there for CS 101. So during the exam time also we have to completely manage those things. So that these are the first semester duties. So in second semester, basically now, like what work we are allotted is like we have to handle the servers. So
Okay.
currently we are doing some migration of servers, so things like that. We have to manage the complete servers of the complete CS department, and also the lab activities and things like that.
Okay. How many students actually typically manage the server? Because I hope that there are a lot of servers. So what is the strength of RA students who is managing these servers?
So like in every year there are around 4 students. So we have
Okay.
like four in third year, four in second year,
12
and like
students.
that. Huh.
Huh.
And plus there are the plus there is staff members also which work
Okay.
in the system admin department. And we have we have one professor, Ranjit sir. So he handles
Okay.
basically the complete managing part and assigning the task
Okay.
to
So the
us.
professor and staff is constant. You guys just helping them.
Yeah, we are helping them. Like he will be allotting us the task and things, and
Okay.
we'll do that.
So for MSTE, it is actually similar like MTech TEs. I mean, you have to enroll in some subject and all. But for MSRA, the thing is, you get your assistantship through a project. So for
Okay.
me, it's like I get my assistantship through a Google project. So ultimately, my the work which I am doing on my thesis, I have to prepare a report every semester, and
Okay.
I have to submit it. And then yeah, so officially you have to work like 30 hours per week for on your project. Ultimately it all depends on your professor. I mean, if he is okay with your work, then it's fine. You do your thesis work, that itself counts under your RAP work also.
So I have just one question. I hope all of your scholarship is same, or because I think that many people are doing more work than others. So for TA, MSRA and MTech RA, scholarship is same or different? It's
It's
different.
different.
Okay.
It's different, yeah. So for me, it's
Okay.
like a little bit more than them. Around like 1,000 more is there, and for every year it keeps on increasing 1,000 rupees.
Okay. Okay. And for MTech TA and MSRA, it's the normal scholarship, or you
Uh,
are also getting some?
No, like I get 1000 extra, as Akamsha said, and at the end of every 6 months I get 16K extra. I mean, like,
From your project.
yeah.
Now coming to the other part aside from the academics. So what are the extracurricular activities you people do during your daily day life at IIT Bombay?
So for the extracurricular activities in the first semester, I did not participate much, but in the second semester, I did participate in the culturals. So just like ISC, IIT Bombay also holds Saraswati Puja here in campus, and it's
Okay.
quite huge. So this time I
Okay.
participated in recitation and I also anchored in the entire cultural program. And at present, I have started with the Gymkhana gym. That is a main gym. I tried to
Okay.
join the gym, so I'm also
Okay.
engaged in that.
Uh, just to preface that with a caution that most of your time is going to be spent in labs or in classrooms. So it's always going to be very little time that you'll get to spend here and there. But yeah, because we are at IIT Bombay, I think I consider all of us lucky because of this campus. Because I don't think during semesters there's any single day on which there's no event at all. At least one event is
Yes.
going on at IIT Bombay every single day. So you're never going to be bored here in terms of events and everything. You'll always find something, some place to join, and there are multiple clubs and things like that also. So those things are there. What I personally do, I am trying to play more sports. Badminton is a good sport. Other than that, yeah, hanging out with friends, going for a walk, all these things, small things.
Yes, so for me also it's same. First of all, there are so many activities here. Like I
Yeah.
like it's been so much fun. I personally play badminton and carom. I did it in first sem, and I even got a bronze medal for it. So
Oh.
just like that. And in second semester, I participated here. Here there is a dance show, basically annual instinct dance show. So I participated in that. So yeah, but again, you have to manage the time. You get very little time for that. But yeah, you have to manage. But if you manage, there are a lot of activities which you can do. Like we even have a rock, like the wall climbing. There is some rock climbing wall, something what we call. I don't. So we
Okay.
even have that. So there are a lot of things here. Walk,
Okay.
nightlife is also very good. You can just go for a walk if you're not feeling well or something like that. If you're feeling some fresh lights, just go for a walk.
So during my first year, most of my time went into lab itself. But then, as people mentioned, that like every day there's some or other cultural event going on. So there's like I feel quite lucky about it. I mean, there are many people who I followed, like Vipul Goyal, Taruna Verma, which I have met in IITB campus itself during events. Also, when I'm free, you can found me roaming around campus. I like walking, and the campus is perfectly suitable for it. So I walk a lot. So, yeah.
So my last question is that, oh sorry, second last question is how is the fest culture? Because you all hear about Mood Indigo. and I hope you all have participated last time Mood Indigo. So how was the experience?
Actually, I didn't participate in it
Okay,
because that time I went home. So
okay,
probably this year. But yeah, I participated in the what we call the introductory session. It happened a little bit earlier. So there, one singer, you can say Arjun Kanango came. That was very fabulous. And yeah, I think based on the photos and videos, which the stories which like my friends uploaded, so it seems very very fun.
I mean, yeah,
So
yeah, you should participate next time. I know
uh,
it's happened in the December, like 25th around, so this is a holiday time.
Yeah, I was there on the campus. It's a really good experience because so many events are happening at the same time, and it's also this first come first serve thing. So for any event, if you are not there, uh, you won't be able to cover all the events anyway. But you have to choose which events you want to go to, and then be there first in the line so that you get to go in. But a lot of things happened that time, and it's not just that they cover the very basic rudimentary things like comedy and this about movies or something like that, songs and dance, which are the I think rudimentary things. All fundamentally most fests cover that. But other than that, also they covered a lot of ground with different kind of art forms, some various dance forms from around the world. Then drama was also there. Piyush Mishra, the
Yes,
actor,
Mishra.
he was on campus. He did his, I think, solo act or something. So that was very interesting. Then there are events which are just for the community, ITB community, just for the, I mean, student community, not involving any body else. And so like bonfire and all these things, and then there are craft shops. So a lot of things, lot of things. Compared to a typical college fest, this one would be a different experience in those terms that it's not just going to be the rudimentary or the fundamental things that all fests cover, not just a concert, not just a dance show,
Right.
not just a comedy show. Yeah, a lot of things.
Unfortunately, I was also not there to see.
Okay. So yeah, timing is a bit odd, but yeah, I mean, this is something you shouldn't miss. If you're in IIT Bombay, you must attend Mood Indigo.
thing was like this time Mood Indigo was like in the middle of December. Like normally it
Right.
happens at the end of December, so most people generally like return to the campus. So this time it was like in the middle of the December, and like mostly people go for a vacation during that time.
So last question is that what will be your suggestions for the newcomers who will be coming to IIT Bombay this time for their M.Tech?
So one thing I wanted to add that one of the most challenging situations in IIT Bombay, which I also somewhat faced in ISC, but more in IIT Bombay, is that in the first semester I took four courses, one compulsory. I completed four courses, one compulsory and three elective courses. Now the problem here is that, which I felt, that three courses had three different professors, and three professors actually teach in three different paces. For
Okay.
example, Professor Pushpak, he teaches in a much slow, at the same time understanding, with a greater level of understanding, going into nitty gritties. On the second hall, we have Professor Sujay, who taught us algorithm. So his teaching was somewhat a medium pace, which we all expect. And at the same time, we have Professor Sunita, who usually goes like somewhat like a bullet train, as far as her pace in machine learning is concerned. So actually adjusting to these three paces at the same point of time, because your level of understanding and your level of grasping and comprehending things are the same. So that becomes quite difficult. So supplementing the classroom material with other lecture material, other related lecture material, that would be essential, which I personally feel. And while coming here, my particular message and suggestion will be not to take any kind of stress, and not to stress on the marks that you are getting in particular quizzes or maybe midsem or somewhat like that. Just see whether you are remaining around the average or not. If you remain around the average, you will get decent grades.
it would be that take a little time to explore what are the courses that the institute that you're going to is offering and what kind of work you're going to do. So, for example, if you want to go for research in your future or higher studies, then you'll have to align yourself according to that when you go to the institute. Because the time span for masters is very less, just 2 years. M.Tech PA especially is just a 2 year course, and a lot of my peers also feel that it's quite less of a time to do everything that they now want to do. When they have come here, they have explored, now they have understood the system better. Now they want to do different things or want to explore more number of things. So just to avoid this lag, maybe explore a little. And there were a few people who were very sure about what they want to do when they are here, what kind of courses they want to take, all these things. But yeah, not everybody is going to be that sure that what are the courses that they are going to take, because if you do not have much idea about that domain or about that course, you can't decide that. But a good process for that would be decide what you want to do. If you want to go for job, then what kind of job? Do you want to go for research kind of job, or do you want to go for maybe SD or something like that? Or if you want to go for research, then how would you want to pursue that research? So this actually gives, because after GATE, because everybody, at least who's going to come to IIT Bombay, they are toppers, right? So
Right.
this happened to me that I was like, okay, now I have done this. What would be the next step? And it took me some time to find that next step. What I want to do after this, after I'm here at IIT Bombay now, what do I want to do when I'm out of IIT Bombay after 2 years? So just to have that next thing, I think Mark Twain said that to find the next thing is to live a prospering or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, we always need that so that we have something to look forward to, and then we build our path towards that direction. So it's more of a philosophical thought, but I think it will really help if you have that kind of clarity of thought before turning it.
Yeah, so technical message everyone has given. I think that was very good. Along with that, I would like to say कि make good friends. If you are in IT, you will. I mean, for me, it was there are several. There was many phases when I went into breakdowns, and at that time your friends, they are by your side, Akanksha. So every time I get into my breakdown zone, she's there ki ho jayega yaar, kitna tension leti hai and all. So yeah, make good friends. And yeah, uh, this will be a really good experience.
Okay, for me, like everybody has given all the advices. So just one point to add, just live your life here to the fullest. Like even in academics, and also like if you get some little bit time, I think everybody gets that. Just enjoy the activities here. Like there are a lot of things. Go to the lakeside. Even there is Samir Hills. So just enjoy the view there and just experience the nightlife here and like participate in lot of activities however the time permits, and yeah, you'll make very good memories here.
Yes, yes.
So
And
just
these 2 years or 3 years, how long you will spend in these campuses? I mean, you will cherish this moment because people often talk about the quality of research happening or what are the packages you are getting from the MTech. But spending those 2 and 3 years in that environment, this kind of dynamic environment where so many things are happening, it's not only about your academic growth, it's your personal growth as well. I mean, how to deal with these kind of pressures, how to help others and participating in these different activities, that is something that will always you will cherish also, and it will make you a better person as well. That is something I felt about my days in IISc Bangalore when I did my MTech. Then I'm currently also when I'm doing PhD from IIT Kharagpur.
also one more thing to add, like you can just try activities which are out of your comfort zone. Like I tried
Right.
it and I personally like found that it has built my character a little bit more. So like in that way, like I participated in social secretary thing and learned a lot from that as well. So yeah, like it would be fun. So just try activities which are out of your comfort zone as well, because you do like you studied in B.Tech as well, but just can build personalities even more here,
Right.
make connections as well. Like That is also
Yeah,
very
that's very
important.
important. That's very important. Networking is very important. Okay, that's it about it. Thank you everyone again for participating, and it was a wonderful session.